Hey, it's Joe from BCAM Studios, and it's not just live action where you run into the radio disc jockey. On today's episode of Radio DJ Reacts, JR is going to watch some classic cartoons. So let's start it off with Rabid Ron on the most 90s of 90s shows, Beavis and Butthead. Though, it's come back like twice, so I don't even know if it's the 90th of 90s shows.
Radio DJ reacts, feel the rhythm it attracts.
Now, dudes, a lot of guys
KTNA.
get nervous when they go on the air, but let me give you a tip. Pretend you're talking to one person.
Yep, it's true.
Can it be like a chick?
Sure.
Hey, baby. Wanna, like, get me on?
What?
Me too.
Hey, headbangers, this is Rabid Ron bringing you the Tri-County
He just
area's
broke his own
hardest and
rule. He
hottest
called the
lineup.
audience
Helping out
headbangers.
Today are our guest DJ winners, Beavis and Butthead.
Guest DJs.
How
Yep,
you doing,
love doing
dudes?
this.
No.
What?
How about you, Beavis?
Sometimes it's like pulling teeth with certain
Check out
guests.
my butt. Yeah.
What?
Okay.
So I know that you invite people to come on the air with you. What's the most nervous you've ever seen somebody who's like your guest DJ or that you've put in front of a mic?
I would often have in high school cheer squads, right? And for being some of the most peppy, girls, a lot of them could get super nervous and anxious about public speaking, right? Even if it's amongst, all of their teammates and their peers.
Let's give Beavis and Butthead time to calm down a little.
Yeah.
And play something
Hit
from
him with
the
a
new
track
group,
and then come back
Viking
to it.
Funeral. What do you say, Butthead?
They suck.
No, no.
Hey, guys, I used to do subversive radio myself in the 70s,
Yeah.
okay? But for this gig, we need a little more positivity, all right?
Yep.
Hey, Butthead, what's he saying?
When you're on the air and that mic's
I think he
cracked and
said
you're
we can't
live,
say stuff
you are
sucks
in
anymore.
the best mood of all time.
Yeah, we can. Stuff sucks. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks.
And pro tip, none of the music you play sucks. It's
fellas,
all the
if
best
you play
song
ball,
ever.
There's a $5 gift certificate in it for you from the Sound Silo.
So have you ever had to coach someone who came on the airwaves not to speak negative about an artist you're currently playing?
I never have. I've definitely have my certain opinions about, music that I would play, whatever station I've been on over the last 10 years. But you kind of keep those to yourself. Like, this is your job to present these songs to your audience because your audience wants to hear them. So you got to really take any of your personal bias out of it. And every song that the station plays that you're on is the best song.
Hey, that was the latest from Viking Funeral.
They don't suck, Rabbit Ron.
They don't.
Yeah.
Look at their demographic. This is great.
No, you said we can't say that anymore.
So, how's it feel to be on the radio, boys? Pretty cool, huh?
It doesn't suck. Hey,
Rookie
Rabbit
mistake.
Ron,
This guy should have never brought these two guys on
you
the
look
radio
like
live
really
with him. He
old,
should have
like
taped
more
all
old
of
than you
this.
sound or something. Yeah. You look like an old fart.
Oh, man.
By
Come
the way,
on.
boys, I got some last night. How about you, huh? I didn't think
How about
so.
you get more than one microphone in there?
You look like really old.
Man, this poor guy.
Hey, if you guys keep screwing around, I'm gonna be one pissed off radio personality.
Yeah.
So try to take this a little more seriously, okay? Hey, we're back with our guest DJs Beavis and Butthead. So, dudes, how about some music that kicks ass?
Yeah.
Cool. You said ass. Kick ass. Yeah.
You wouldn't expect anything less from the Tri-County region's ass-kickingest radio station.
Oh, yeah.
Ass. Yeah.
But before we get to the ass-kicking, Butthead, why don't you tell the folks about our next head-banging contest?
The PD is probably peeking through the window. Hey, easy on the ass, guys.
The teeth
Oh, gosh.
cooler.
10th caller.
He tried to do
Gets
him a
a free
solid and
tattoo on
slide
his
him a
butt.
piece of paper, and he just can't even read it.
Yeah.
Yeah, great joke, Butthead.
I wish Rabid Ron would have. So in the studio, we have a device called the Vox Pro, right? This is where you capture all of your calls and your audio on. And what he should have done for Beavis and Butthead, as he calls him, like I did for the Cheer Squad, was you basically give it to him line for line, right? And you say, repeat after me. hey, this is Ashley from XYZ school. And she'll say, hey, this is Ashley from XYZ school. And tonight's number 5 song. And back and forth and back and forth. And you're able to then chop that up and make it one coherent kind of thought and sentence and then present her on the air that way. If you don't, you better be ready to scramble and be on your toes to try to cover up for their mistakes because, you know, it's on you, whatever happens in there. But yeah, there's definitely been some nervous people.
Of course, he means tickets to tonight's Bon Jovi concert.
Oh, yeah.
I'm afraid that's all the time we have for Beavis and Butthead. But keep listening.
I like how he
because
says
somebody
Butthead.
always wins. You guys get the hell out of here.
Get
Never
out
come
of my
back.
studio, bro.
You're old.
Oh, come on. I know I am, but leave me alone.
Oh! Hey, what about our $5 birth certificates, bunghole?
Oh, gosh.
This Rabid Ron's quite a character. What do you think?
You know, there's this, like, stereotypical thing where people that get into radio, much like myself, it's because maybe you were never cool in high school. I certainly wasn't. Maybe you never got women, you know. So this job makes you feel like you have some kind of sense of power and, you know, personality and popularity.
The one and only JR!
You guys have fun with JR?
And that just oozes off Rabid Ron for sure. He's definitely not too old to be in that format. They were definitely in a rock format. He broke his own rule right at the very beginning. He gives you the cardinal rule, right? Which is when you're on the air and you're jockeying, you're talking to one person, right? And you can speak as if you're speaking to your best friend. I even learned in the beginning going as far as putting a picture of your best friend on the mic flag. So it's like you're actually speaking to them. But yeah, Rabid Ron, not very good, but he shouldn't have to deal with Beavis and Butthead. I think he did the best he could given the circumstances.
No one could.
No, I'm sorry, sir. We're not offering the butt tattoo promotion. No, I'm sorry, sir. We're not offering the butt tattoo promotion. No.
They're getting so many phone calls about
Yeah.
what he just said.
For a guy that's supposed to, like, have rabies, Rabid Ron's a wuss.
Man.
I'm glad you enjoyed them, sir, but no, I'm afraid they are not real radio personalities.
You know what really stands out to me from this is when I first started in radio, I thought it would be silly. I thought it would be funny to pretend that I was giving away my co-host's new Jeep on the air. And because obviously I didn't understand the FCC rules and like regulations and all that stuff. As soon as we got off the air, I got a big talking to by my mentor, Rob. And he's like, look, bro, I understand you're trying to be funny. You're probably a little bit nervous. You can't joke like that because all it takes is for one person to complain about something like that where, hey, you told me that I could win a car and now you're telling me that I can't. So early on, I really learned that you got to be careful with what you say on the air because at the end of the day, people hear what they want to hear.
So this is a pretty common thing, the ticket giveaway. Do you feel like Santa Claus when it comes to giving out tickets to people?
The new hits, 95.7. Hey, I'm JR. Jessica in Commerce City. Check it out. You're going to Post Malone, October 30th at Ball Arena.
This is signed by Colorado's own One Republic, and check it out. I want this to be yours, okay? So many of you entered to win, not Cheetos, entered to win Ed Sheeran tickets.
Hello,
Is this Amanda?
this is Amanda.
Amanda, this is JR with Hits 95.7. What up?
Hi. Did I win tickets?
You damn right, you're going to Olivia Rodrigo.
Oh my gosh, my daughter is going to be so happy. She was like, I'm the worst mom in the world. And then I got tickets. Oh my freaking gosh.
Jennifer in Denver, you just picked up 2 tickets for Billie Eilish this November at Ball Arena.
Oh my God, that is amazing. Thank you.
You're going to Ed Sheeran this weekend at Empower Field. Crystal, you just picked up 2 tickets for Ed Sheeran at Empower Field next summer.
Oh my God, yes.
Who's your concert buddy? Who's rolling with you?
Maybe my boyfriend.
Maybe. I hope he's not listening right now.
Do you feel like Santa Claus?
It can be a double-edged sword. And let me tell you from experience at my most recent job in Denver, Taylor Swift came to town, right? Biggest star in the country, huge pop star. I would still give anything, and Kylie, I mean anything at all, to be Taylor Swift's next ex-boyfriend. I mean that. I'm serious. She did 2 nights at Empower Field in Denver, sold out both nights, right? And when I tell you I obviously wasn't around for Beatlemania, but I imagine it was probably in the same lane as this. This was unlike anything that I ever experienced in my broadcasting career. And I've been around some pretty major acts and done giveaways for some huge artists, but none bigger than Taylor Swift, especially at this particular time. I definitely felt like Santa Claus. I felt like I had the hottest ticket in town. Obviously, listening skyrocketed. Everybody wants to win because tickets for this show were just astronomical, just way too expensive.
Riley in Denver, don't freak out, girl. But you're going to Taylor Swift.
No way, no way. Are you serious?
Absolutely. This Saturday night, you and a friend on us.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
It goes from excitement and just like, joy to then listeners trying to straight up guilt you and make you feel bad because they didn't win at a random, caller 9 wins. Or we even did this contest where you had to send in an audio message. We called them talkbacks. And I would scour through and pick whichever one I thought sounded best. And people legitimately tried to guilt me because I didn't pick them to win a contest that was completely random. Even as far as a girl to call me and say, JR, you gave tickets to my sister. You chose my sister, just like my family has always chosen my sister our entire lives, and now you're gonna do the same thing. And I'm just like, whoa, like relax, and they really try to pull on your heartstrings to try to win their way into Taylor Swift. But for all the good, there's a few bad apples here and there.
Maybe if her sister liked her, she could have got invited.
That's what I'm saying.
+1.
You know what was even cooler about that scenario is on the other side of that, I had a girl that flew her sister in from Utah because Taylor Swift was in town, and they were just going to be at home, but they wanted to be together because Taylor Swift was in Colorado. And then lo and behold, one of them win, and they brought each other, and it was just, they were like crying on the phone, and they were so excited, and they were so thankful. And it's things like that make what I do such a joy.
Our next show is from the MTV cartoon Daria.
Mental Z93 in the morning.
I'm Bing, the Spatula Man.
I knew they were going to sound like this, dude.
You gotta be crazy to make it through high school.
Yeah. Mental in the morning, or radio loves their alliteration, right? So anytime you can put, like the hits to get you home, mental in the morning. It's a big deal when your local station shows up at your school.
Spatula Man,
I've done this so often.
ladies here who I bet know how to partay.
We really should start driving between classes.
Girls, we've got a treasure chest full of Z93 prizes here, and all you have to do for the key is tell us on the air where you love to get mental in the morning.
On Z90.
I think they have stage fright, Spatula Man. Come on, girls. Nothing to fear but winning. Just tell us which station plays the hits high schoolers love to hear.
Note to self. Stop by courthouse on way home and pick up
restraining order. Knew it.
Well, no problemo. We'll just find some other mental morning party people.
Yep.
Hey, Spatula Man. Let's remind our audience what we're doing here this morning. It's simple, Bing. We're going to make a love match for this young man live on the air.
Okay.
What's your name, Chief?
Charles is my name. Exploring the dark underbelly of passion is my game.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, Charles. The first girl out here in our audience to agree to a date with you is going to get a free Mental in the Morning bumper sticker.
Yay.
What do you say, ladies?
Boo!
A date for a bumper sticker?
Even Upchuck doesn't deserve this much humiliation.
Think how the bumper sticker must feel.
First, I have to address the station swag, right? The bumper stickers, the T-shirts. I'm sure they probably had koozies in the back of the van. All that stuff is very stereotypical.
The Spatula Man ain't too proud to go to them.
Oh my goodness! What?
Spatula geek.
Those are teenage girls. What is he doing?
You lovelies wants to go out for a night on the town with my man Charles and win a free bumper sticker on Z93.
93.
Tiffany, dear, would you please explain to the
That's the
special
whole
man why a bumper
WNBC.
sticker cannot
WNBC.
possibly compensate for the shame and permanent reputation damage involved in a single date with Charles Rutheimer?
Oh, gosh.
Chuck. Ew. Well done.
Those girls should be on
how
the air.
about you? Up for a date with our Don Juan de Lawndale?
No thanks.
Don't you want to hear your voice on the radio? Come on, you look like you could use a date.
Ouch.
Let me be your
Why does it look like
ball of
Shermanator
yarn.
from American Pie?
A sophisticated sex robot sent back through time to change the future for one lucky lady.
Okay, you talked me into it.
You hear that, everybody?
I'll just run home first and take a 10-year shower.
Oh.
Ooh, kind of a rough response. What's the roughest response you've ever gotten when you've done a gig or hosted a contest?
Any experience that I've had like this in public, or even more specifically at a school like this scene is, I remember working in Nashville. This was a few years back now. And I linked up with this boy band at the time. Their band name was Why Don't We? Super talented, super cool guys, right?
Homies, what up? JR here, and I'm with my buddies. Why don't we say what's up?
What's up?
We're here at John Overton High School. We're about to walk into this auditorium and surprise Sarah Osborne, who was the winner of JR's high school takeover with Why Don't We? You guys ready?
I'm so ready.
Sarah's a Joe? Yeah, she is. Let's do it.
And a listener that attended a local high school in the area won this big contest where that band would come to their school and crash their lunchtime. So I got to join the band and film this entire thing where this popular boy band came into the school and people were just losing it. Like, it was a super cool, super fun experience. None of that was broadcasted live, but it was captured and repurposed later, on air and online.
93 makes me mental in the morning!
Oh my, somebody check on this poor kid.
I've seen more people collapse this week.
That was pretty good, but good enough to win a T-shirt? I don't think so.
The
There
station
must be
swag,
some
dude,
other
it's just,
students out
come
there who
on,
can
you're
tell us
killing me
on
with
the
this.
air why Z93 makes them mental in the morning.
Okay.
So it appears that this radio station's slogan is that they play the hits that kids want to hear. Do you think an actual radio station would use that slogan?
That's basically a top 40 station, which I assume this one was. Just trying to be hip, just trying entirely too hard. That definitely was. I'm gonna use a word that I absolutely hate. It's the word that I hate second most in this world, and that's cringe.
You there, in the green. Yeah, you.
Once again, I'm being personally addressed by a morning DJ. That's it. I want your autograph.
You've been avoiding us all week long. Why not come up here and tell us?
So wait, they've been here all week?
Z93 makes you mental in the morning. Free T-shirt.
It's 2 sizes too large and tissue
It always
thin.
is.
How can you resist? I'd finally have a decent outfit for the auto show.
But people love free stuff, man.
Are you mental in the morning? I think I am.
Daria is really playing up that stereotype like Beavis and Butthead did, where it's just lame adult men who are way too old to be doing this type of shtick, annoying everybody. Is this like super common, or do you think it's kind of a stereotype?
The over-the-top personalities, not even personality. These guys really didn't have any. They were just, their voices were over the top, right? It was just your very stereotypical, get mental in the morning on Z. It was just, it's called puking is what we call it in the industry. I was guilty of that early on.
Q97.9, Portland's #1 hit music station. I'm your favorite homie, JR, live in studio. I've been reminiscing lately about Old Port Fest 2014.
Oh, Megan and Liz, right?
You got it! Oh, what's on the Q music scene?
Wait.
Taylor Swift. I don't want to cut you off, Kylie, but Taylor is the only artist in 2014 to sell over 1 million albums.
Just trying to be what I thought I was supposed to be, and the writers of this show perfectly nailed that with these two buffoons.
A few days ago, my father had a heart attack, forcing me to admit his mortality to myself for the first time.
Oh, gosh.
Accepting this grim new knowledge has been especially difficult as I've been under constant yammering assault by two utterly brainless and talentless so-called radio personalities.
Oh, gosh.
And so for these reasons, I, Daria Morgendorfer, am mental in the morning.
Yikes. Those guys are going to quit their jobs.
So Daria just killed the party mood pretty fast. What is the craziest thing you've ever seen at one of these live events?
Well, I joke you not. We had a girl that got a tattoo on her foot of our station name to win tickets to a concert.
What was it for?
It was for 5 Seconds of Summer.
Hey, are you guys excited to meet 5 Seconds of Summer?
So we were doing this contest, and you had to use a certain hashtag, right? And I guess you just had to do something wild. I don't really remember the theme of it. But people were, painting their cars and making signs and bringing them out in public. And this one girl's like, screw it. I'm going to get this hashtag tattooed on my foot. So our radio station, which is defunct now, it's not a station anymore. It's gone through like 2 or 3 different name changes since then. She has that tattooed permanently on her foot. But hopefully, it'll make for a good story for her for years to come. We're talking about it now.
Our next clip comes from the cartoon Garfield and Friends, where John Arbuckle has now become a disc jockey.
Every year, dozens of otherwise worthwhile human beings take that horrifying step and become disc jockeys.
Oh, no, disc jockeys.
Here's a normal person playing a record.
Let me play a record for you.
This is just gonna
now
rash
here's that
on me,
same
isn't
normal
it?
person after he became a disc jockey.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, guys and gals, guys, I got stacks and stacks of red hot wax coming down the tracks with the boss. Sounds of the boss.
Please, don't let this happen to you. This has been a public service message from the National Institute for Disc Jockey Prevention.
That's the stereotype, right? That's the, whoa, just look out, and just the rhyming, and, part of me loves it, and that's a guilty pleasure of mine. I just think it's so fun. It's certainly over the top, and it's not what program directors are looking for now, if ever, but I don't know, there's some kind of charm about it. I know it's comes across super annoying, but I think that's what I like about it. Oh,
and that was
man.
Vinny and the Landlords with their new hit, Don't Evict Me From Your Heart.
That's John.
Back selling the new
Right,
song.
He's no
Good
longer
work.
A person. He's now a disc jockey.
This is Johnny the A coming at
Yes,
you with
look
more
at this
solid
guy.
gold hits here on K-Dum Radio.
It's K-Dum Radio. John Arbuckle.
Nice jingle.
Now a word about Frump's fine clothing stores.
Don't worry, he'll be home soon.
He was about to do a live endorsement on the air. I respect that.
New hit, I Want to Hold Your Pancreas, coming at you at 3:14 here on K-Dum Radio.
It's K-Dum Radio. John Arbuckle.
Hey, John, you're beautiful.
No, you're beautiful.
No,
Oh,
you're
gosh.
beautiful.
No, you're beautiful.
Hey, John, I'd like you to meet
Hey,
Mr. Frump of
John.
Frump's Fine Clothing.
Mr. Frump, I've been reading your commercials.
Well, do a good job, Arbuckle. I don't want any kidding around in my commercials.
Stick around, I got one coming up right after news on the hour.
They're a little harsh. Another one that kind of plays up all the stereotypes. What do you think of Garfield taking some pot shots at your career of choice?
Rightfully so. It's John Arbuckle had it coming, especially every time. Sweeper with his name in it. And he just thinks he's the cock of the walk. He's too cool for school.
Even his program manager loved him.
Oh, they loved him. Yeah, his brand manager, you're beautiful. You're great.
Our next clip comes from the classic 80s cartoon, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And as you can see, Michelangelo is a really big fan of this radio station.
Okay, that does it. I have got to get some Z's. Michelangelo is out of here.
Oh, gosh. Shout out to Mikey for listening to the radio. I love it.
Michelangelo, no more rock and roll.
When you're playing stuff on the radio, like a really good song, Do you picture your audience at home being just like this?
The way Mikey's listening is how I hope everybody that's hearing me is listening, especially when I was doing my night show. It's always so cool when you hear stories from listeners about how they would have you on in their room while they're cranking out homework or while they're working out or whatever they're doing. Like it's such a good feeling knowing that you're a regular part of somebody's day. Like, that's the biggest compliment somebody can give me.
Okay, kid, I cuties. Shout out on this 3-wolf dude on pirate radio. WOOF. Whoa, whoa.
Whoa, whoa.
But dudes, I'm listening to my main man, Dickie Bart, the Wolf Man, and it's tune time. Woof, woof, woof. Wrong. It's snooze time. That Bart guy's whooping is driving me out of my shell. But dudes, it's the numero uno station in the whole city. Just give it a listen. It'll grow on you. Yeah, like a fungus.
I knew he was going to say like a fungus. Oh, come on. He just wants to support his local radio jock.
Oh, sure. Make me sleep in the cold, wet sewer. Well, at least I've got Dickie Bart to keep me company.
Not anymore.
All right, now, Mama, it's
Oh.
flea bags are scratching their way up the charts. With
Flea bags scratching their way up the charts. Oh, it's tremendous. The cotton in the ears, this is so good.
This is Pirate Radio, WOOF.
Woof.
Party time, all the time.
All the time.
Woof.
You've heard him, so what's your thoughts on Dickie Bart's The Wolf Man?
The Wolfman? Dickie Barf? Did you say his name was?
Dickie Bart's.
Oh, Bart's. He was tremendous. He was everything that I aspire to be.
The other turtles do not seem to be a fan of this guy.
I think he just did his job. I think he found his audience. He found his listeners, his P1s as we call them in the industry, and that's Mikey. Mikey is super into it, and if that's the person he's connecting with, then Dickie Bart's, he wins the game.
He is a wolf
He would
and
look like
only
this.
Wolfman, Dickie Bark.
I loved his outfit. That was very like, he was rocking like a zoot suit. He had this like streak down his hair. Like that guy was rock and roll, man. He knew what was up. I'm a fan.
Here's a radical beat of a platter that's melting the old turntable. It's Dickie Bark.
People love this guy. He is rock and roll.
Are you a big fan of all that woofing he's doing? Who does he think he is, Arsenio Hall?
I did, yeah. I thought it was super fun shtick. I thought his delivery was great. He was really smooth.
Look from you, darn you idiot! Turn that bastard thing off! We're trying, Frank. We're trying. Where'd that racket come from?
The number one radio station in the city. That's right. Everybody
WOOF.
listens to WOOF. Woof, 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 woof.
Everybody? How fortuitous! I believe we're about to go into the radio biz.
Now I'm really curious to hear Shredder take over the airwaves because I've always been a fan of his voice and what kind of maniacal things that he would say. I could picture Shredder trying to talk up like a Taylor Swift track or something.
Don't give up your day jobs, you boobs.
And
Boobs.
WOOF is about to get a new DJ, the Slicer.
Oh no. Shredder as a DJ. First off, it's so funny to me, the WOOF. I learned at one point, I think like halfway into my career, I'm like, why are some stations' call letters begin with a K and why do others begin with a W? And I learned that it's just like a coast thing. And to differentiate them, basically think of the Mississippi. Everything west starts with a K and everything east starts with a W. It's so funny how in the shows it's always like WOOF or W something or other, you know?
Oh yeah, this would be happening in New York, wouldn't it?
So it's accurate.
Your thoughts on Shredder's DJ name, the Slicer?
The Slicer, yeah, not a good name. Shredder, much cooler name. Especially for like a rock station, right? The Shredder?
Truth be told, even though he's evil, Would you let Krang join the radio business?
Krang should not get into the radio business. He has probably the worst voice that you could like listen to on your drive home from work. And he'd be like burping in your ear and stuff. It'd be nasty.
JR, you are way too judgmental. Our next clip comes from the TV show that you might have heard of. It's called The Simpsons, and it's when they meet Radio DJ 3000.
This is the DJ 3000. It plays CDs automatically, and it has 3 distinct varieties of inane chatter.
Hey, how about that weather out there? Whoa, that was the caller from hell. Well, hot dog, we have a wiener.
Man, that thing's great.
That is great at KBBL.
The machine.
If you don't get that kid an elephant by tomorrow, the DJ 3000 gets your job.
Wow.
Looks like those clowns in Congress did it again. What a bunch of clowns.
How does he keep up with the news like that?
Realistically, even though they made it a joke here, how many DJs have you run into where they could definitely be replaced by the machine? And this was like in the late 90s. This is before AI actually could get scary good.
You know what's spooky about that is AI is becoming a real thing, not only in the broadcasting industry, but everywhere. And if I recall correctly, there's a company in Canada, I won't say what company it is. They have their first ever AI only station. And essentially, it's just this girl's voice that they type up and it delivers all the breaks for them. And it's kind of eerie to think about. You know, it's that age-old thing, oh, we're all going to be replaced by machines at some point. And it's like, they kind of already are starting to do that. So
they're right. You shouldn't praise the machine, should you?
The Simpsons are right again. Obviously, the only downfall is there's no emotion in the voice. There's no human connection, but it can basically do nearly everything. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe, all 3 if you're feeling up to it. Again, my name is JR. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, it's cool to be you. Peace.